In 1534, Henry VIII declared the Act of Supremacy ruling law of the land. In doing so, not only did he detach from the papal kingdom that was so powerful in medieval Europe, but he also started a religious roller coaster in England for decades to come. Some monarchs leaned heavily on the newly formed Anglican Church, while others reverted to the older Christian section, Catholicism. In this video, we will see how 4 Tudor monarchs responded. When Henry married Catherine of Aragon, his first wife, he was already thinking of his heir. This is because having a male heir guaranteed the ruling family an extended dynasty once the monarch has passed away. Henry sought for this heir desperately, but Catherine only produced a female, Mary I. At a point where Catherine couldn't produce new heirs, Henry was really desperate. He filed for divorce in order to be able to marry another wife and produce a male heir, but the Pope refused. Now for Henry, Catholicism was holding back his chances at a male heir. Based on new Lutheran values, he set up a new church, of which he would be head of. He ordered the dissolution of the monasteries and kicked the Pope out of the country. He signed this in the Act of Supremacy, which granted him unlimited religious license. This makes him seem very Protestant, but the fact that he had an extremely Catholic funeral and was raised as a child in such way suggests he may have had a lot of sentiment towards Catholicism. Therefore, he edges to the Catholic side very slightly. Whereas Henry changed the church just to produce a new heir, not removing key Catholic laws where he was still slightly Catholic, Edward had clearer incentive. His radical Protestant thoughts were a result of growing up learning the religion in such great depth. He wanted to reform the church completely, bringing ideas such as predestination in at a time when these thoughts were almost at the status of heresy and disobeying God. He commissioned the English Bible, banned many Catholic ceremonies, altars were made bare, and stained glass windows were taken out. The gold from churches were raided, and the walls whitewashed. This was a complete reformation of any remaining pieces of Catholicism in England. Therefore, this devout Protestant goes at the very top of the roller coaster. In complete juxtaposition to Edward's ideas, the roller coaster comes pacingly down to Mary I, also known as Bloody Mary. Her incentive was simple: to restore Catholicism in England, making priests now keep the vows of celibacy and lavishly redecorating the church. She had many ways of brutally converting Protestants as well, which encompasses the whole bloody part of Bloody Mary. Firstly, if you were Protestant, you lived under the danger of being one of the 300 people burned at the stake in public during her 6-year rule. Also, priests who had, under Edward VI's law, married were to leave their wives, and newly formed families were broken. Living in such fear, a Protestant would have probably seen it safer to be a Catholic, and therefore converting under the mad Catholic tyranny imposed by Mary I. Therefore, it is justified for Mary to be at the very bottom of the roller coaster. And the roller coaster winds upwards again, but this time not all the way. Elizabeth I was a committed Protestant and wanted therefore to restore it. However, by imposing the tyranny Mary did on Protestants, on Catholics, it wouldn't work for Elizabeth, and so she decided to keep some Catholic virtues. She, however, did press higher fines and taxes on Catholics, and operated a network of spies on Catholics. Also, she made a Protestant parliament and retranslated the Bible to English. Therefore, her position as a Protestant is justified, but not all the way, because she wanted to keep her people happy. These have been the 4 Tudor monarchs involved in the religious roller coaster which has helped shape the nature of religion in society even today. The instability in religious terms encountered at the time has shaped the everyday lives of people across the world, even now. England was the first Catholic Europe nation to detach from the immense power that was the papacy of medieval Europe, projecting newly formed Lutheran values to the rest of Europe. Corruption by the papacy was stopped from entering England, as indulgences weren't sold, and people started to think about religion seriously, following the translation of the Bible into a language they could understand and even relate to. Other countries, inspired by the resilience of the English against the Spanish Armada, would have the courage to follow suit in alliance with England. Because of Elizabeth, England is still Protestant, but were this profound rollercoaster to have not started, England may have still been Catholic to date. Life would have certainly been very different.